발 앉아. 그렇지. 손. 그렇지. 손. 다른 손. 하이파이브. 그렇지.
Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
Hello, this is Elena and today I will tell you all about fostering here in South Korea. I'm here with my foster dog, 해바라기, or sunflower, because his smile is like a big sunflower, bright and beautiful. And I will tell you about why you should consider fostering if you're living in South Korea, how you can do it, and my personal experience. So why foster an animal? Animal rights are still very low developed here in South Korea. Even human rights are still like in the developing process, and animals being abandoned and mistreated and abused is actually a very big problem here. People just buy a cute dog and then when they see that it poops and it needs food to eat, they just throw it away. And even foreigners are part of the problem because there are students who come here for 1 year and they see a cute dog in a pet shop, buy it, and then when they have to leave, they just throw it away. So there are a lot of abandoned animals which need to be adopted. Even before they are adopted, some need a foster, so kind of a part-time adoption family, because they might have been abused. Okay, see you later. They might have been abused, they might need to have a kind of surgery before they can be adopted, and they need somebody to take care of them in the meanwhile. So there are a lot of reasons to foster an animal. And just to make clear, fostering is taking care of an animal for a month or 2 or maybe even 3, but not fully adopting them. So it's actually a very good thing if you want to see if you're compatible with a dog or just with an animal in general. And also like if you cannot decide 100% if you want to adopt or not. There are so many animals needing fostering here in South Korea, so even if it's just for yourself that you want to try but you don't want to adopt and then throw away a dog, this is actually a really good thing to do. And as I said, there are literally hundreds of animals thrown away every day, and just like a small portion of that is even discovered and registered as an abandoned animal. So if you're considering getting a dog or a cat here in Korea, you should definitely also consider fostering first for a couple of months, and then even if you get it well with your foster animal really well, you can adopt it. It's not like you're not allowed to adopt it after you foster. So it really is a good thing to do and gives you a lot of freedom and flexibility as well. So moving from why adopting is a good thing to how you can adopt, for foreigners, the most comfortable thing probably are Facebook groups. I also joined a Facebook group. I will add the information somewhere. And a lot of people like every day are uploading animals that they found or uploading information from the shelter that they work at, that they volunteer at. So you can get a lot of information about animals needing fostering on Facebook. But where I found 해바라기 is a Korean app called Paw in Hand. As far as I know, the app is only in Korean, so if you want to use it, you should be able to speak Korean or get a Korean friend to help you. But you can actually see how many new animals are uploaded there every day, and it's usually between 100 and 300 that are registered per day. So crazy. And you have the different categories: animals needing a flight to the US, for example, to be adopted, and animals needing adoption, and animals needing a foster parent. And in 해바라기's case, he was found by some people just roaming the streets for days by himself, and because they were like private people, they were not a shelter, which some shelters are also on the app Paw in Hand. They didn't have the means to take care of him, and we're about to register him at the City Hall shelter. But since the City Hall shelters in South Korea are very limited, you can think of them as kill shelters. So usually after 15 days at the longest, the animal will be put down. And 해바라기 only had a couple of days left in his 15-day span. So when I saw him and I saw his cute little face, I just thought, okay, I have the means to take care of a dog. I'm thinking of taking care of a dog anyway. And if I don't act now, this little guy will be put down just because his owner threw him away. So I took him in, and it was the best decision of my life. In his case, like, he doesn't have any problem at all. He is scared of men, especially of the Korean ajashi. So we think his previous owner probably was an ajashi like that, who was not very nice to him and didn't take care of him at all. Like, he doesn't have any shots. He probably has never been to a vet before. So however, the process of taking him in was actually much easier than I expected. Of course, if you adopt an animal, they usually, especially from a shelter, there usually is a bit more of official stuff going on. But since I took him in just as a foster and from a private person, I just went there, we talked a bit, we talked beforehand, got him, took him home, and now he's been living here for about a month. And the foster process is a little bit case by case. So in this case, we got a little bit of food, we got a little bit of snacks for him, but we pretty much had to buy everything else ourselves. However, if you take an animal in from a shelter, you usually get a lot more support. So you might just have to buy the food, you might not even have to buy anything. So it really is case by case. So even if you don't have that much money to spend, you can definitely consider taking in a shelter dog that is well supported. And in our case, we're taking care of him as if he were our dog. We're feeding him, taking walks, and we took him to the vet, and we paid for a surgery that he needed to have done. However, we won't have to really pay for that in the long run because we found a person who will adopt him, fortunately, and will become his forever family, and that person agreed to take care of the costs of that surgery because it's something Hebaragi would have needed to get done anyway. So apart from Facebook and apps like Paw in Hand, you could obviously always go to your local shelter and just look for a foster dog there. However, this might not be as easy as it sounds if you're living in Seoul, because Seoul is so expensive that there's not really a possibility for shelters, for big shelters. You need a lot of space to build a shelter here. So a lot of shelters I found information about were like in Busan or Pohang or Gimhae. So the internet might actually be the best place for you to look for a foster dog if you live in Seoul. Oh, hi. You want my sock? You want my sock? Is it sock you want? Is it sock? And yeah, like I said, what you need to prepare for your foster baby really is case by case. So you might not have to prepare anything if the shelter is well organized, but you might also have to prepare almost everything: footballs, leash, poop bags. So you can definitely foster even if you don't have that much money to spend. It just might take you a little bit longer to find for the perfect fit. And that's pretty much it for the why and how to foster. And my personal takeaway, my personal review, would I recommend fostering? 1000% yes. I mean, look at this little goblin baby, this hairy baby, the hairy goblin. Fostering in itself is extremely rewarding. So we know that because we stepped in at the time that we did, we saved this little guy's life. So, oh, hi baby, hi baby. What? It is horrible that so many animals are being abused and just thrown away. But even if we can help a little bit, it is such a great thing. So doing it's really every little bit helps. So even if you cannot adopt an animal for whatever reason, fostering also is such a big help. And even if it just buys the animal one more month of a happy life, even if you cannot find a person who will adopt your baby. And I mean, fortunately, we could find a forever family for Hebaragi, so that is so amazing. But even if you cannot do that, the worst case scenario is still that you buy them one more month of time and of happy time with you before they get put down, which still is extremely sad and heartbreaking, but it really helps. It does help. So I would recommend it to anyone, especially even if you're thinking about getting a dog and you just want to try different kinds of dog for the different characters, or maybe you really want to raise like a cute Pomeranian here in Korea, but you know that you will only stay here for 1 year. Just foster one. Like seriously, there are all kinds of animals being thrown away. So you can find a Shiba Inu, you can find a Pomeranian, you can find cute mixed dogs like him. So there isn't a reason not to foster if you're interested in animals, if you don't have an allergy or something like that. So I would recommend it 1000%. And I hope that this video can help you a little bit to get information on how to foster if you're interested in doing that, right? Yeah, right. Everybody, let's say bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Don't bite me.